Hi, I'm Ryan Dieter with All About Columbus and a local realtor here in Columbus. I'm here with Matt Wolf with Columbus Outdoor Pursuits, and we're here to tell you about Columbus Outdoor Pursuits and learn about that. But before we get into that, Matt, I want to hear a little bit about your story and how you became the program director here at Columbus Outdoor Pursuits.
Thanks, Ryan. It's nice to be here with you. I'm a I had a career as a meteorologist for some number of years.
Nice.
And that was a really tremendous ride. It was my first passion, but a couple of years ago I decided to jump to nonprofit work and ended up working for a couple nonprofits, volunteering for a few, and serving on a board for a while. And eventually I bumped into my friend Lisa Darris. She is the executive director here at Columbus Outdoor Pursuits. And
Nice.
while we had run in similar circles over the years, we had not ever met.
Huh.
So at the time we realized that there was a possible fit here at Columbus Outdoor Pursuits for my passion and my interests and what they needed help with.
Okay.
So that's how I ended up here last June.
That's awesome. And I'm sure you were an outdoor enthusiast before that, or is it?
I was,
Yeah, okay.
and an environmentalist, so I really
Nice.
enjoy spending my time outdoors and the stewardship of the outdoors.
Okay. Very cool. So how long have you been in the position?
I've been here since June of 2019, so about a year.
Okay. So fairly new.
Yes.
When I first moved to Columbus, actually, this is one of the first organizations that somehow popped up on my radar. Just I'm an outdoor enthusiast myself. I love to bike, kayak, mountain climb, and rock climb and things like that. So this was one of the first organizations that I really saw, and you guys have a pretty big reach here in Columbus. So tell us a little bit about the history of Columbus Outdoor Pursuits and what you guys do here in Columbus.
Okay, Ryan. Well, Columbus Outdoor Pursuits is, as you know, Ryan, a fairly well-established nonprofit. People are surprised to find out that its history goes back into the 1930s, the late 1930s.
Yeah.
So Depression, almost Depression era, but it was originally part of the American Youth Hostels organization, which was, a very popular organization in the mid-20th century.
Okay.
So that was its roots for Columbus Outdoor Pursuits. And then it eventually broke off from that organization and became its version somewhat of what's like today. Columbus Outdoor Pursuits has always been a nonprofit, but today we are, an independent nonprofit in that sense, and we specialize in organizing and leading and educating in outdoor recreation. We also increasingly are striving to make that access more accessible to all people.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important component of where we're headed as an organization.
Yeah, I love that. We're going to ask that question here soon. But so obviously we see us wearing masks. we're here, during the pandemic, during stuff going on. Obviously that's probably been a struggle with Columbus Outdoor Pursuits and what you guys have been doing. Tell us a little bit about that. Like what are you still doing right now? What can people get involved in? And just tell us a little bit about how this has affected Columbus Outdoor Pursuits.
Right, Ryan. Well, most of the two biggest events that Columbus Outdoor Pursuits is probably known for is the Great Ohio Bike Adventure, and the other one is Tosser. They're both cycling tours, and large cycling tours. So GOBA is a week-long, the Great Ohio Bike Adventure is a week-long bike tour that happens every year, and it moves around Ohio to different locations in different towns. So we've had to cancel that. Tosser, tour of the Scioto River Valley, has been around since 1962.
Wow. Yeah.
So at one time that tour had nearly 3,000 people. So these are not the type of events that we can have this year.
Yeah. A lot of people, yeah. That's
probably
is that the largest bike tour in Ohio?
Certainly in Ohio it was. It may be Peloton now.
Okay, yeah.
And Tosser, that was a peak of 3,000 people at one time. We do not have that ridership today. Okay. But historically, these rides have been our bread and butter. So we've really had to switch gears and focus on our smaller activities this year.
Yeah, which are, so you have a couple rides still?
We do. We have we have a couple evening rides that happen, one on Monday that's still going. And then we have some smaller bike rides that we've developed around the community to help people get out and stay active. One goes through Green Lawn Cemetery. It's more of a historical tour.
Yeah.
And then one tours our urban city parks. It's about a 12-mile ride.
Okay, yeah, both of those are on my list to do, my short list to do here in Columbus. As you know, I just had the baby, so trying to get out and ride is a big, scheduling that's tough, but definitely those are on my short list to do. So if you haven't had a chance to do that, definitely check out those rides. They're on your website.
They are. Yeah, we also, Outdoor Pursuits also has an active paddling group.
Okay.
So again, we've had to limit those group sizes a little bit this summer to 10 people or less, but we have re-engaged the paddling community.
Good.
And those events are going on. So
Perfect. So you mentioned biking, obviously your big bike races, have been put on hold. Hopefully we'll get back to those next year. We can, hopefully you'll get twice as many people next year to make up the difference. But you mentioned biking and paddling. Columbus Outdoor Pursuits, I'm assuming, has a wide range. What else do you guys do and lead and all that stuff?
Right. We do have a backpacking group that has changed over the years. As an organization this old, you can imagine things change and wane from time to time. Right now, our most active backpacking group is a women's backpacking group.
Nice.
And before the pandemic hit, we had about 30 women some were learning to backpack, some were experienced backpackers. So that's the beauty of Outdoor Pursuits, is if you're really a novice or an interested person, you can engage in an activity with somebody who knows the ropes already.
I love it.
And that makes it a really nice thing, somebody to kind of learn from.
Yeah, and that's a great transition to the next question. But you guys also provide, used to and hopefully will provide classes for like education, on outdoor education, things like that. Or like you guys provide classes on safety and stuff like that as well.
We do. Historically, we've had introduction to kayaking classes.
Okay.
We've had some very serious cycling safety classes.
Yeah.
So that when you ride a bike, you know the rules of the road, you know how to engage safely. Very, very important things. So yes, we have had over the years many educational activities. In fact, we're having one, I think, on August 15th. It's
Nice.
going to be a cycling, packing, and backpacking sort of event.
Okay.
Where people can learn the ins and outs of really how to cycle and pack
Wow.
on tours. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. So one of my bucket list things to do is to bike from Cincinnati to Cleveland and go right through my house is right on the Owen Tandy Trail, so I can stay the night, at my house one of those legs. And so I might have to sign up for that class. That sounds awesome. So how to pack and how to do all that stuff. So instead of having to wear a huge backpack and try to bike. So I've not done anything like that yet. So hopefully you can help me do that. So but yeah, so you guys have been around for a long time. I didn't realize that, how long you guys have been around. That's awesome. So where do you see this organization going in the future? Like obviously you're doing a lot to help people learn how to pursue outdoor activities. What do you see the future of being kind of your bread and butter and continuing this?
I think for me, Ryan, I think that the pandemic has given most of us an opportunity to take pause, take stock of where we are, and really sit back and think a little bit about where we want to go. When hopefully things resume more of a normal cadence in life. With Outdoor Pursuits, with an organization such as this, with such a long and deep history in the community, it's really an advantage to have those expertise, but you also have to grow with the community and change with the times. Otherwise, you run the risk of becoming irrelevant.
Yes.
And so every organization faces those challenges if they're around long enough, and Outdoor Pursuits is no different. So I think as an organization, I think Lisa Darris and I share this vision of it becoming a more inclusive and diverse organization, and also welcoming people of different skill levels in the organization. We have a membership and volunteers, who are often very elite in what they do. They're at the higher end of their sport. And so we really want to try to welcome new people into the organization and
Yeah.
also make that equitable, the access to it equitable.
Mm.
As Columbus grows, we face challenges, I think, as a community about access and equity that we're all pondering more these days.
Yeah.
And increasingly, science is becoming better at linking, access to nature with our
Yes.
health,
Yes.
both physically and mental.
Yeah.
And so we really want to be a part of that change in Columbus as it occurs. It's an
Right.
exciting place to live these days, Columbus.
Yeah, it is, and I love hearing that. I think that's needed. So one, thank you for making that part of your mission and part of your future.
Sure.
And having that, and because if you don't plan on it, it won't happen. So I appreciate that's actually in the plan of Columbus Outdoor Pursuits, and I know Columbus as a whole is trying to make it, park system accessible to everyone. And you guys can help be that link
You bet.
there as well. So that's cool. I love hearing that, and so with that said, how can people get involved with Columbus Outdoor Pursuits? Obviously, anyone at every level, as you just said, you want every level of anyone that's has an interest in outdoors, whether it's biking, hiking, kayaking, walking. If you like the outdoors, there's a place for you here. But how do people get involved? Where do they go? What do they do? What's the best way to start?
I think right now, given the times we're in, the best thing to do is visit our website at outdoor-pursuits.org. We are a nonprofit, so it's .org. We're also on Facebook and Twitter, and those social media outlets have our calendar on. See if there's an event, especially if you're new to, you want to try something like kayaking, or you want to try backpacking, or you want to just get outside and go for a bike ride on Sunday afternoon and maybe tour part of the city you haven't seen before. Those are the best ways to engage with us right now. And we are limiting group size to 10 people.
Why?
So we do require people to sign up for most things just so we
Yes.
can keep track of that.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Now, do you guys rent equipment at all?
We do. We rent, we do have kayaks here that we rent, and some canoes. And when we have a bike ride right now in the community, one of our smaller bike tours, we will provide a bike and a helmet free of charge, mostly.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
So we have a small fleet of bikes here.
How
for
cool is that? So even if you don't have a bike, you can still go on the rides and
That's right.
kayak rentals. So definitely check that out. And it's a great. I tell you what, kayaking. I love kayaking. Kayaking downtown is such a great way to see the downtown area. There's a landing right here at the Scioto Audubon Park that you can just go, and it goes. You can go downtown, float downtown. There's a lot of waterways that people don't really know about in Columbus.
That's good that you bring that up, Ryan.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Columbus's relationship with the river has really changed in a positive way the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Like many American cities,
Yep.
the relationship with that waterway has changed over history.
Yeah.
It's very different than it was in the industrial time periods. And now we're getting a chance to get back out there and enjoy and appreciate that for the natural amenity it is. It's really peaceful out
Yeah,
there.
and the city itself, like you said, is doing a tremendous job of helping that, transition the waterways to make it safer and just more accessible. So definitely check that out. It's a great way to see the city and other parts of the city as well. So Matt, thank you. I do want to say a shout out to Jerry and his wife for making these masks for us. These are handmade masks, and I really appreciate it. Just a little shout out there, and we'll definitely have to do this interview once, hopefully soon, when things are somewhat back to normal. We can kind of go over your programs again and get people more attention as we're able to have these big, large groups again. And you guys, one last thing I do want to hit on is you guys used to do, and I'm sure you will in the future, is you plan trips too.
We do. We often, particularly when we're not in pandemic times, our paddle trips often expand beyond Central Ohio and go out of state, and we have backpacking trips that do the same thing.
Okay.
We'll go to surrounding states, into the Appalachians, and have some nice weekend trips.
That's awesome. So I need to sign up for one of those too. So, well, thanks Matt for doing this. I appreciate it. Like I said, we'll have to schedule another one when we can do it without masks and be in a space. And if you're looking for more information on Columbus Outdoor Pursuits, definitely check out their website, Facebook page. We'll link it in some of the links here. Again, I'm Ryan Dieter with All About Columbus and a local realtor with Key Realty here. But if you need anything on my end, don't hesitate to reach out. Love to plug you into more things like this in Columbus and keep you keep you active in Columbus here. So thanks for tuning in.
Thank
See you
you,
next
Ryan.
time. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, please hit subscribe below to see more videos just like this. And if you know someone or a business I should interview, please reach out, leave a comment. Would love to make that happen. Thanks, and hope to see you around Columbus.